We're on live YouTube. Now I'm gonna go live on TikTok. We're live. Welcome everybody who will be coming after. We're doing our global water blessing today. Hello, welcome everyone. Hello everybody, welcome. How is everybody tonight? Today we're going to be doing a water blessing. So get ready to get your water. Hi Sonia, how are you doing? How's it going? Busy with school? All right, welcome everybody. How's everybody? Hi Guiding Light. How are we doing? Where are we joining from? Oh, you just left your clinic. You're going back tomorrow and Sunday. Oh, you get a day off. Oh no, you don't get a day off. You're working on the weekend then. Thanks for joining. Friday night. Anybody got some exciting plans? Water blessing. You're joining from Minnesota. Hi, Taylor. How's the weather over there? How's everything in Minnesota? Welcome, everybody. Tell us where you're at. Say hi. That's the life of a graduate student. No life. Yeah, I know. I've been there. I was a graduate student and I don't have any life. Chilly. Yeah, today was actually nice here in Colorado, but it's chilly over there. Yeah, at least it wasn't raining. Yeah, but it's worth it, Sonia, because once you're finished, you're going to be so happy. Hi, Guiding Light. How are you? How was your day? Hi. Hi, Sylvia on YouTube. Happy Friday. Today we're going to be doing a water blessing and talking about what's going on with the water. So welcome in, everybody. How was your week? We're on Friday already. Anything to share? Let me change this. Good. How was everyone? I'll find a different song for us here. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the water, and I invite you to get a bowl of water, just plain water, and we're going to do our water blessing, but we're going to talk about the water and how to work with the water, and I want you to share what's going on with you, where you are in the water situation. As many of you know, there was a big chemical spill, a big train derailment in Ohio that has completely contaminated the waters over there. There's water crises and water shortages and all kinds of things going on with our water, from finding bacterias and E. coli's and different viruses and whatever in our water. And this is a very big problem that we're about to encounter. And so I wanted to do a water blessing tonight so that we can join together as a global community and start to heal some of the aspects and things that are happening in our world, and to give gratitude and thanks to the waters. Because the elders tell us that the reason the water is drying up is because we have lost our connection and our sacred responsibilities to the water. And one of the biggest responsibilities that we are neglecting to do is we are neglecting to sing to the water. We're neglecting our responsibility to sing and pray with the water, and the water is drying up as a result of that. On top of that, we are allowing the massive polluting of our water. So we're going to talk about that. Good evening. Thanks for joining in. So what are your thoughts? What's going on where you are with the water? We're going to talk a little bit about some of the science behind the water. And I did invite you all to watch the movie, Water, the Great Mystery. Did anybody watch it? Do we have to do a Zoom night? I watched that video in a group with a bunch of women. I was in a women's circle, and one of the facilitators, she said, oh, let's watch this movie. And it was really mind-blowing. It was a really good movie. It's called Water, the Great Mystery. Has anybody seen it? I recommended it on the last live. What is it about? It is about water and the properties of water, the mysteries of water, the science behind water. And it takes, I don't know if you guys know Dr. Emoto, but Dr. Emoto, who I'm going to talk about, he wrote a book about water. This is the cards, but he wrote a book about water and the healing effects of water, and we'll talk about it. But Water, the Great Mystery, the movie, the documentary, it's on YouTube. It's free. It's free on YouTube. Watch it. It's going to tell you about water, why it's healing, the properties of water, why we're deficient, and really we're not hydrated enough, because our water that we drink out of our pipes, and if we go to filter it or whatever, it has no nutritional value. And that's what this video talks about, is that, you know, water, when it's in its purest form, like high up from the mountains or wherever, it has all this electricity. And this electricity, it looks like thunder and lightning under a microscope. I mean, it's incredible the way it looks under the microscope. And all of that energy, when you drink it, is coming into your body. And the people who drink this type of water where it has all this electricity, they live to be well past 100 years old. They're very healthy. They don't have all the degenerative diseases that we have, and cancer and all those things don't live in their body because they're fully hydrated. See, when you're fully hydrated, you don't get things like arthritis. You don't get things like, you know, all these degenerative diseases that we have, the bulging discs and the this and that. If you look around, most people, when they hit a certain age, they have knee, hip, and back problems. It's very common. I think they said 8 out of 10 people have back problems because of these degenerative diseases. And it's because we're not drinking the right hydration. We're not drinking the right water. We're not fully hydrated. In fact, in Europe, the cancer treatment is not chemotherapy. It is hydration therapy and oxygen therapy. Because when your body has enough hydration and oxygen, it doesn't house things like cancer and all these lists of diseases that we have specifically here in America. And so that's just like in a nutshell. But the Water, the Great Mystery is a bunch of scientists from all over the world who talk about water, and they study water, and they're talking about it from a scientific standpoint so that people in this day and age can understand it. But what they're actually talking about is indigenous wisdom, indigenous knowledge, indigenous things that people who have a connection to the elements of the earth understood. And they understood the original instructions around water too, that water is sacred. And we are losing our sacredness with our water. And it's very unfortunate because you see, people are so self-absorbed in this time and age. They only care about themselves. And unfortunately, when you understand, that's why I refer you to this video, how connected we are to the water and how the water responds to our energy and our frequency, It's a big deal about what's going on in the water because we're in a closed ecosystem here. Water that is on this earth is going to be here for another million years or so. It's not going to replenish and rejuvenate itself. The water that we have here, we have to take care of it. And if we don't take care of it, it won't be here. And imagine if we have no water. And you're starting to see people in, we had the Flint, Michigan water crisis and nobody cared. And then now we're going to have in Ohio, that's like 25 million people affected by that water. And everywhere we live, look at your water situation. Do you even know where your water comes from? What lake? If it comes from the mountains, if it comes from, what stream it comes from. And that's the thing about water, is that it's so important, and yet we're so disconnected from it because it just comes out of a pipe. Imagine if one day you turned on your pipe and there was no water. Just imagine. Okay, so yeah, it's called Water, the Great Mystery. You said in Florida, it is very polluted with red tide and other things. Yeah, that red thing that came and nobody really knows what it is. Like even here in Colorado, there's just a man-made lake, a reservoir, but every summer they can't, go in it because it has this deadly algae. Growing up, I never heard of that. Now it's just a common thing. Oh, you can't use the water around this time because there's a deadly algae. Yes, we can talk to it also, and it can listen and heal us. Yes. Water has the ability to heal. Water water absorbs the energy around it from pollution. Yeah, the pollution. Imagine, it's not just the pollution in the air. It's not just the chemicals and the toxins and the stuff. It's the toxic thoughts that we emit. Okay, imagine that. Like, it's pretty incredible, the power of water, because water has the ability to hear us. And if we're saying toxic things near the water, or when we're drinking the water, or when we're in the water, that's getting into the water, because what Dr. Emoto found out in his work with water is that water not only hears us, it emits a frequency. It emits what he, shows as these crystals. And I'll show you some of the crystals. I have these cards. And this is Dr. Emoto. Does anybody know Dr. Emoto? Have you ever read the Messages from Water? But see, it's like, he found out that when he took pictures of water and he said certain words, they would produce different crystals, right? This is a coral reef. That's the energy of a coral reef, the water on the coral, right? And then this is healing. So you can see that water, if we put it with an intention like healing, and then we drink it. And so that's what the purpose of these cards are, is like you pick a card and then you put your water on it, and then it will, absorb that frequency, and then you'll be drinking that. Yeah, no two snowflakes are the same. Your sister told me to write on my 5-gallon and put positive words to heal. Yeah, exactly. That's what he did. He put positive words and negative words. I don't have the other book, but if you see the energy of TV, the energy of TV is like dark and cloudy. Whereas the two highest vibrations that he found through his work with the water crystals is love and gratitude. Those are the two highest emitting frequencies, love and gratitude. And compassion is pretty beautiful. Like, all the words you would expect are beautiful. And then he would even do music, like certain types of music had a very distorted crystal, versus other types, like classical music, had like very bright and beautiful crystals. And so everything responds to energy and frequency, specifically water. So then you take it one step forward and you think about our bodies. Our bodies are 70 to 80% water. So think about all that we've been just talking about. When we infuse ourselves with these positive crystals, and positive energies and positive, words, imagine what that does to our own body, our own being. So it's pretty incredible. Yes, you saw a film of the doctor, very interesting. Yeah, Dr. Emoto. Can you please show that deck of cards? They are beautiful. Yeah, I'll show them. It's called Water Crystal Oracle. It's by Dr. Emoto. And these are from his book called The Hidden Messages in Water. So if you haven't seen the book, I highly recommend it. And then these are the cards that you can work with to just, work with the water crystals. Like this is hope. See how beautiful hope is? Right. And then like something like this is sympathy. So I'll show you too. That's sympathy. And then there are other ones like, let's see. I'm just gonna look through here. Like, and then some of them are very put together, like wisdom. That's wisdom. Wisdom. So when you think about, you can see what the energy of wisdom is and hope is. And let's see what this one is. Oh, look at self-love. This is the energy of self-love. Self-love. And see how beautiful and bright and clear they are. And then different ones. Let me see. In this one, it doesn't have all the distorted ones, but if you look up online, you can see like what hate looks like or anger. And one of the coolest things that happened, I thought, this is resonance. That's when you're resonating with something. You know how you use that word? Oh, I resonate with that. See, that's the energy of it, is you're resonating. Hi, Babs. We're talking about water today. So those of you who just joined, we're going to do a water blessing, but we're talking about the energy and frequency of water. And why I wanted to do that today is because I have a water ceremony that we usually do in person. But right now I'm not doing in-person events. So I wanted to do something online with water. And what I have found through my years of working is that when we start doing things like water ceremonies, and different types of ceremonies, less people show up. It's interesting because like if I do a fire ceremony, a lot of people show up. But when I start talking about water, it's a really interesting thing because it's like not many people know about the healing abilities and the power of water. It's like a very few select people that really care about water. And it's kind of sad because it should be at the top of our priority list right now. I feel like water right now should definitely be one of the main concerns that we have because of what's happening at a very alarming rate with water and why the water is in the state it's in. Oh, that's because it's work. I know nobody wants to work. It's sad. It's sad because we need the water workers. We need people to really work with the water. We need people to actually care and work with the water. Is Virgo a water sign? No, Virgo is an earth sign, but it doesn't matter what your astrology sign is. Okay, it doesn't matter. When we're talking about earth, fire, water, air, those are universal. Without them, we can't live. And the teaching of water is that water is our first medicine. It's what we're born out of. Our wombs of the mother is a water. So it's our first medicine that we are born in and within, and we have a very sacred connection to it. No matter what our astrology says, we're all connected to water. Some people are more connected than others. We have to do something to help. Yes, I took a spiritual bath before this and ran one of my husband's. I ran one for my husband. Oh, good. It should be our main priority. I believe we are 75% waters ourselves. Yes, it should be our main priority. And in the, in the original instructions that we were given by Creator is to take care of the water, is to bless the water, to talk to the water. We have ceremonies to the water. When we, work with the water will work with us. And like I said earlier, one of the main reasons they say our water is drying up around the world is because we are no longer honoring our sacred responsibility. We're no longer singing to the water. We're no longer saying thank you to the water. The water is almost dead. And that's what that Water, the Great Mysteries movie will show you. The documentary will show you that the water in our world, when we get it out of the tap and it goes all through the pipes and the whatever it goes to, is almost dead by the time it gets to our hands. It's dead. And that's why it's devoid of any nutritional value or minerals or anything. And you have to add stuff back into it. And now with all the chemicals and whatever is put into the water, all of that is causing serious health problems. And if we're not, and I think it's very easy to say, well, I don't live in that area, so why does it affect me? But one day you will. It's not going to stop. We don't know where it goes. Water circulates all around the world. It's never, what happens in Ohio happens all over. What happens in Florida happens all over. What happens in Colorado happens all over. Water flows. It's like in Sedona, they were working on the sewage over there. And instead of paying to properly dispose of it, they dumped it into our creek. I don't know how many tons of sewage got dumped into our creek, into the water systems. And they didn't do anything about it. And that happens all over the world. It's not just here. Look at our ocean. Our ocean is filled with plastic and pollution and trash that people don't know what to do with. And they just throw it in the ocean. And then there's ocean life, right? I also don't agree on putting water on plastic bottles. Yeah, we use all these plastic bottles, right? Plastic, everything. It's all connected. But the basis of it and why I wanted to do today is because we can reclaim that sacred responsibility. You can reclaim it, especially if you're a womb bearer, which means, you're a female, a biological female. Because the instructions say the biological females are supposed to be singing to the water. Everybody can sing to the water. Everybody can pray to the water. Everybody can work to the water. But when the women work with the water, it's going back to our sacred responsibility. My 5-year-old picked and brought home We Are Water Protectors book from school library today. Ain't that something, Amanda? Ain't that something? See how connected this next generation is? And that's why we have to pass it on. We have to share it with others. We have to go deeper into the teachings of water. And the 11 people who are on here now, you are all connected to this sacred prophecy around water, about returning to the essence of it and our responsibility. I love that so much. They are our future. It is a good he is learning. Yes. And they have those books. I've seen that book. I think it's on my Amazon store. The We Are Water, the Protectors book. Blows my mind a little bit with the timing. Yeah. That's so surprising because it's a spiritual thing. Like I've been talking about in these lives, everything is spiritual. So when you get into that alignment, you're in alignment with it. Yeah, it does. It happens all the time, Nicole. Part of a prayer group placed a bubble of protection over the area in Ohio. That's good. That's good. We need everybody to do that. We need everybody to do that, but we need people to do it where you are. Putting a protection bubble over the area is good, but unfortunately the water still flows, right? So we have to take care of the water where we are. and bless the waters. Because one of the things that, and why I would talk about Dr. Emoto, is because Dr. Emoto did something kind of interesting. When Fukushima happened, when all that nuclear waste got dumped into the, into the waterways after the tsunami, he and another healer got together and they had people send crystals from all over the world, and they blessed these crystals with healing vibrations and these sacred, images, and they did all this stuff with it. And they just, through the power of prayer, they got, I don't remember how many tons of crystals that got sent from all over the world to do healing for the water. They put the crystals into the water, and then they tested that water, and it was, all the nuclear waste was removed from the water. So that in itself is mind-blowing, to think that the power of prayer can change the frequency of nuclear waste water. Is a really amazing research he did. If everyone did a little something, I believe it could make things better and for our kids' future. And that's the thing. Why do we do these things? Because a lot of times people say, well, I'm going to die before anything, catastrophic happens. Right, which is a really selfish way to look at it, because yeah, okay, you're gonna die, but there's still gonna be people left behind. And part of the original instructions say that you have to think 7 generations ahead. You have to think 7 generations ahead. So if you think, oh well, I'll be dead, nobody will do anything, because you're gonna be dead. You're gonna be dead. But those of us who actually care about the earth and the 7 generations and the kids, and perhaps you have kids, it becomes more important. Other countries value the environment more than the US. Some countries do and some countries don't. I think really when you're talking about water, it's the indigenous people who talk the most about water. I don't see a whole lot of other groups talking about water, unless it's like water conservation groups or different people. There are a lot of people who try to do good things with water, but I think a lot of people just don't understand the basics of what we can do to help with water. I am transfixed by the portal over your head. Wow. Yeah, it's the water portal. Oh yeah, talk about Grandma Aggie. Well, Grandma Aggie, Grandmother Agnes, she was the oldest living tribal member in her tribe. She wrote a book called Wake Up, Wake Up World, or something like that. It's in my Amazon store if you want to read it. And Grandmother Aggie, what she always used to say when you would meet her, when you'd meet with Grandmother Aggie, first thing she would say is, "You are water babies. You are water babies." And it was so funny because people would just get it so like, I don't know, she just had this way about her where she would say, "You're water babies," and people would just start smiling like they were babies again, and they say, I don't know, something about the way she said it and the way she was a water protector, and she took down all the dams except for one dam in Oregon. Because when she grew up, she used to be able to go and, ride the boat or kayak with her grandpa. And then over time, she noticed the water was just getting, the current was getting less and less and less and less. And then she found out that it was because of all these dams they were putting. And she heard the water tell her that this is bad for the earth, all these dams and the fish and the salmon and all this stuff. So she worked for 25 years through legislation, through, community, through all that, to get all those dams taken down. And at the end of her life, there's a video where you'll see where she's like in 90 and she was in a wheelchair and she could barely walk. She had a lot of health problems, and she was just like on the river, that she helped take the dam down, and she was just flowing by, and she was like a little child just and it was such a cute video. I don't know if they have it online, but I was at a conference and they showed it. And it was just so incredible because we had all these people like, "Oh no, Grandma, are you gonna be okay? Are you gonna be okay?" And she was like, "Move out of my way, I'm going on the river." And she had an Olympic swimmer with her just in case she, capsized or something. But no, she was having a good old time. It was fun. But that was her legacy. That was the work she did. And then she brought back a ceremony for the salmon that hadn't been done for over 100 years. And she also brought back the tribal tattoo that she said nobody did anymore. It was the 11 tattoo. And so she had 2 tattoos here, and her daughter also had that, and she brought that back. She brought back a lot of traditions that had been lost. And the most interesting about the salmon is that she revived the salmon ceremony, and she let everybody come to the salmon ceremony. She just, said, anybody who eats salmon, come on down for the ceremony. And they took the bones of the salmon from the ceremony and they put it back in the waters like they did in traditional times. And the next year, the water and fish, people, the government agency came and they said, what did you do? Because we have never seen this much salmon in the waterways. And it was right after her ceremony. So she did a lot of good work, and her book is really awesome. And she's just a really phenomenal woman. I was really lucky to spend some time with her, and she just had this presence and energy about her. And she had an ability to make us think about the water. That was her whole mission in life, was to protect the water and to remind us that we're water babies. It's incredible stuff. I think water is like the veins of the earth. We should not mess with that. Good for this lady Aggie. Yes. Another thing, sorry, I'm just looking at YouTube. Another thing about Grandmother Aggie, I meant the creek and river, yes. They are. Water is the life force. It's the blood of this planet. It's everything. Without water, all life dies. Another thing about, Grandmother Aggie was that she was a woman who worked, that Dr. Emoto found because of her work with the water. And Dr. Emoto interviewed her. He came all the way to Oregon to interview her. And he asked her, how did you know that the water could hear you and that the water has memory? And she said, oh, the water told me. And he's like, as the scientist, he was like, oh, what? Yeah. If you go to my Amazon store and you click on spiritual books, you'll see it there. Her book, The Wake Up World. Yeah. Grandmother Aggie book. But she's so funny because she said, well, the water told me. And here he is spending all this time and energy and money to research water. And she just listened to the water. That's the thing. So you have all these scientists and this and that, and they're trying to understand something so simple. And yet in this day and age, it's not simple. Because one of the main teachings in Indigenous culture is use your common sense. And I think a lot of our common sense has gone out the door. Yeah, her book is amazing. So if you have a chance and you like to read, it's a good book. The thing about water is that Standing Rock really woke a lot of people up around water. And then when Standing Rock was over, I think a lot of people went back to bed around water, because it's not just about the pipelines. It's about everything that's happening with water. And the bigger thing about water right now is, why is it drying up in such a record number? What is really going on with the water, and why is it drying up? And cities are using it in an astronomical way. Like, more water is being used than there is. And a lot of people don't even use the water in their homes. They have to go filter it or buy water or something, because they don't trust the water that's coming through the waterways, through the pipes. That's probably why her books say wake up, because we are not listening, too busy with our monkey mind. Yeah, we're too busy with our whatever. If you look on TikTok, just go on any other live right now, And nobody is talking about stuff like this, or very few people are talking about stuff like this. And we need to be. I think it's like Mother Earth is trying to get our attention any which way she can, and very few people are listening. Because then you start thinking about acid rain and all this other stuff. Like, there's a lot going on with the water. So, beyond the other stuff. So, what I invite you to do today is to get a bowl of just plain water. Go to your kitchen or wherever and get a bowl or a cup, doesn't matter, and get like tap water. Just get your tap water, just regular water. Okay. Oh, you watched it, Kelly? You watched Water, the Great Mystery? Isn't it amazing? Yeah, amazing water. Water, the Great Mystery is amazing, 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 amazing. It'll change your whole perspective on water and how important it is, and make you think of different things you've never thought about. You live close to several beautiful springs here in Florida. Oh, that's awesome. Michael's like, sorry with our laugh emoji, not meant. It was funny. Oh, yeah, it's okay. I mean, that's how it is. Yes, it did. Yeah, so let's all go and get a water. Get a bowl of water. And plain water. There was another storyteller. She was a traditional storyteller that I know. And she was saying that when she was growing up, her grandmother used to go around and collect rainwater, and that was the water that they drank. And it was fine. This is until she said about the 70s. In the 70s, something was different about the water. And she said in the 70s, what they started to notice was kind of like a film on the water. And it looked kind of like a rainbow, like gas. You know how like when you put gas on water, it has kind of like a rainbow effect. And she said they started to notice that on the water in the 70s. And her grandmother said, oh my gosh, we have to throw all the water out. There's something wrong with this water. And that was the last time that they could really collect clean rainwater. And now she said that what she thinks it was like the chemtrails. They had them even way back then, the chemtrails. And she said it was probably the chemtrails, and we just didn't know what it was, even back then. And now she said the only water that she likes to drink is the Fuji water, the bottled water, because she said that's the closest taste of water that she can get from her childhood, when she used to be able to drink fresh water, rainwater, or whatever water. And she said now the water don't taste the same. A lot of people, we don't know what the water tastes like back in the 50s or 60s, but it was probably when, if you ever read Rachel Carson, has anybody read Rachel Carson's Silent Spring, where she talks about when they start putting those chemicals on the fields and how it changed everything? So it's already happening back then. So can you imagine now? There's like a generation above us, 1 or 2 generations, that remembers what it was like to drink fresh water, like real water. Most of us don't have not a clue of what that really tastes like. I see them a lot of chemtrails now. I can tell when bad weather is coming now. Yeah. And if you look at the chemtrails in the sky, it's the same thing happening to the water, where she was talking about the rainbow effect. There's rainbows in the sky that are very abnormal after they spray. But the problem is a lot of people don't even believe in that stuff either. Just like this stuff, people don't believe in this stuff either. And I don't know. It's only a select few people who are going to hear it. But we still have to talk about it, because you select few people now have the sacred responsibility to take care of the water and talk to the water and sing to the water and work with the water. and teach those who come into your path about the water. You know, because like I said earlier, it's not a lot of people outside of native tribes and native people. You know, it's growing, but it needs to grow more. The ceremonies to the water need to be a highlight. And so since a lot of us can't join in ceremony, we're going to do it today. All right, so did everybody got their water? Everybody got their water? Let me know. Yes, Kelly's got her water. Fanny White's got the water. Taylor's got the water. Okay. Everybody got their water. All right, good. Everybody, yes. Okay. All right. So I want you that have the water, we're going to participate. I want you to tell us where you are. What state? Let's just say what state. So I'm in Colorado. Florida, Texas, Colorado, Florida, Minnesota, Cali, Colorado, good. Minnesota, got Minnesota, Colorado, California, near around the Sierra, good. Okay. Thanks for all the likes. All right, so I want you to think about your area where you live. And I'm actually gonna change the music. Think about all the waters and, you know, where you are, whatever issues are facing the water where you are. And I'm gonna play the water song. I wonder if I could play it. Hold on one second. I might have to play it on this one. We're gonna play the water song. Now this is the Algonquin water song that was made just for this time. And the elders want people to sing it and to teach it. And maybe I'll be able to put it in the chat. Hold on one second. I want you to think about your water. What would you like for the waters of the world? You know, wherever you are, what would you like? What is your prayer for the water? I'm gonna have to do it on this other screen. Wait 1 second. Okay. Sorry. I'm having a little technical difficulty. But we'll get there. To heal. What else would you like for the waters? You know, like we're speaking to the water, just like Dr. Emoto spoke to it. And we're gonna fuse love with it. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, hold on 1 second. Of course, all my technology would. Okay. To feel loved and appreciated again. Okay, so I'm gonna play the water song. And
water has memory.
the name of the YouTube video is Sing the Water Song. I don't know if that went through.
Maybe. Wow.
Okay, so I want you to hold your water as the song is playing and put your intention and prayer into the water. So some of you said to heal, to stay pure and happy enough, to feel love and appreciated again. So just looking at the water and staying in a space of gratitude and love.
Continue to pass on the knowledge that needs to be given unto the other generations. You are the keeper of the water. That grandchildren will stand up to this truth of what life is about, and to live it in such an honorable way, the way ancestors came to this earth.
And so
Each day,
putting all your love into the water.
They might have been. There's a new chance for your hopes and dreams. And I say, Jimmy, what? Thank you for singing the water song.
Taki miskwi ni biwa. Hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, hey ya, oh.
And when you're finished, you're gonna blow on the water. And you're holding all your intention and all your love and all your gratitude. And you're gonna just really focus on that intention that you have for the water. And I'm gonna give you one of the crystals. And the crystal that I drew for our water blessing today is eternity. So I want you to infuse this energy into the water and see it in your mind's eye, coming into your mind's eye and then down into the water. I'm just focusing. Eternity. And seeing the water for the next 7 generations, clear and pure, healing, loved, appreciated, and here for eternity. And knowing that just like when they put those crystals in the Fukushima water, that your prayers and blessings can help clear any and all toxins from our waterways. And then when you're finished, you just give love and gratitude one more time. Blow on the water. Oh. So now the water has been blessed by our collective energies. And I'm going to put the name of the water song here in YouTube. So you can listen to it later. And that song was actually written and it was inspired by the work that Dr. Emoto did. And they wanted to make a song that everybody could sing, no matter what your tribe was or your ancestry. Sorry. Because they wanted people to return to singing the water in a traditional way. So that is a song that has been approved for everybody to sing. And it's something that's really needed at this time. So you can go to the video and just listen to it and then learn the song. And then what the recommendation is that anytime you use water, you sing that song to the water and you tell the water, thank you. And you build a connection to the water, because when you have a connection to the water, just like when you have connection to the spirits, just like, water is a spirit. There's tons of spirits in water, like Yamaya, they talk about Yamaya or Oshun or Oya, all these goddesses of the water bearers. They're in every culture, every nation, because water is alive. Water is a spirit. Water has memory. Water is healing. There's so many things you can do with water. Traditional healers oftentimes only use water in their healings. Sometimes they'll add, mint or other, rose petals or different herbs and stuff. But today I wanted to just show you something real simple that you can do at home to connect to water, because I feel like water right now is crying to us to do our healing work around it. And until, this is the prophecy, is that people won't care until they turn on the faucet and no water comes down. And that's just heartbreaking, because we have to do something before that time happens. And that's why we have to do more things around the water. So now your homework is, what are you going to do with this water? Right? And I want you, if you can, depending on where you are, if you can take it to a living body of water. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take your hands, your prints, and you put them in the water. Okay. This is the proper way to connect to water. Is first, when you go to the water, like say you live near the ocean, some of you are in Florida, or some of you might be near a lake or a creek or a reservoir or some place. And you're going to put your hands like that on the water, and you're going to introduce yourself to the water. You're going to say, hello, water, my name is so-and-so. And you're going to build a connection, because what they say is that your handprints, how you only have one, everybody has a unique handprint. That's your genetic makeup. That's your genetics saying hello to the water. So now the water will know you, and the water will work with you. The water will heal you. The water will work with your frequency, and it will do whatever it needs to do to help you. And that's how you properly introduce yourself to the water. Then you can say, this is an offering I'm giving you. And then you give the water, And you can also bless yourself with the water. You can take the water and you can, go all over your hand, your head, the places in your body that need a cleansing. Because now the water is blessed. The water has changed structure. It's not just the plain tap water that it was before. It has now changed structure, and it's emitting a different frequency for healing. And so that's where you can, you can bless yourself, you can clean yourself. But if you can, I invite you to take this water and to the water systems wherever you are. And that's how we start to heal and bless the waters. And then if you're called to it and you really want to work with water, then you start learning the water song. And every time you're in or around water, like say you're taking a shower, sing the song, say your gratitude, say your thanks. They said even just saying thank you to the water every time you put it on, every time you wash your hands or take a shower or wash your dishes or wash your clothes, or, we use water in so many ways. And every time, if you use the water, just saying thank you is building that sacred connection. The Feather River is near me. It's frozen and I'm a little nervous to walk up on ice, but next time. Yeah, not like you don't have to go right this minute. Maybe you could put it in the fridge or something. And when you can, or you can put it like near the water. You don't actually have to go near, in the water, but you can put it near the water. You could give it to a tree near your house or somewhere near the water. You can, even if you can't do that, say you're in an apartment or something, you can give the water to your drain. You put it down the drain, but when you put it down the drain, have the intention that when it goes down to the water systems, it's going to bless all the water. The whole idea of it is that we want it to connect to the water. And you'll see, if you watch that movie Water, the Great Mystery that I was talking about, you'll see how water works. It's so powerful because water touches everything. The problem with like those chemical spills and all this stuff happening in the world right now is that it's going into the groundwater, it's going into the trees, it's going into the wildlife, it's touching everything. It's touching everything. And that's why when these spills and not just the chemical spills, but the oil spills and all this stuff, trash and everything that seeps into the waterways is going somewhere. It's going everywhere, right? And if we don't start putting out a different frequency, if we don't start putting out the healing, if we don't start blessing our water, being thankful for our water, the water won't be here one day. The water will start disappearing like it already is. And that's why I wanted to do this live today about the water, because I feel like this year, especially because we're in a water year, water becomes even more important than ever. It becomes something that people can't take for granted anymore. And just think about it. When water becomes scarce, what will happen to the price of water? When water becomes something that's no longer just, coming out of our faucets for whatever we pay a month, just think about it. Think about the price. Think about where will you get your water? What will you do? And see, this is the problem a lot of Indigenous people have to face every day. They don't have running waters in their house, and they don't have, some houses like on Popey Reservation don't have running water. They have to go to a well. I'm so glad to have been part of this because it's so important. Yes, thank you for joining. It is important, and I hope all of you will share it and do it. This today, you can do every day. When you're going to go drink your water, say a prayer, say a blessing, ask the water to heal something in your body. People even use this type of ritual for manifesting. That a lot of people, if you can't get to people because they care about the water or the earth, what they will care about is money. If you say, oh, do this water blessing, it will bring you a lot of money, they'll do it. They'll do it. We're like, really? Oh, okay, I'll bless the water every day. It's almost like whatever motivates them. I'm just kidding, but it's kind of sad but true. Because when you start saying, oh, today we're gonna do a water blessing, people have to be bribed, I think. I told a couple of people about the movie. I felt silly at first, but I started thanking the water I used. Oh, that's good. That's good. Don't feel silly about it, because that movie, and that's why I recommend it, is because that movie makes it legitimate. Like Dr. Emoto went to go see grandmother Agnes and asked her how she knew the water had memory and how the water, did all this stuff that she knew without doing any science. And she said, the water told me. And he felt silly. He was like, oh, I spent how much money and research and time and this and that to do this. And grandmother Aggie just knew it. I tell a toxic boy at work he pollutes my water in my body, so he has to leave me alone. I doubt he understood it though. But that's the thing, is that it is our body. And think about the water of the earth, that's Mother Earth's body, our home. And that's what we're doing to it. And that's why grandmother Aggie said, wake up world, because there's more to life than money. There's more to life than video games and going out and drinking and partying and all that stuff, living unconsciously. There's more to life than that, because if we don't even take care of our earth, our home, we won't have a home. So now everybody who joined me today, if you haven't already, I know Kelly did, but if you haven't already, try to watch Water the Great Mystery. You can watch it over the weekend. And then do the water blessing. See how it feels. Go listen to the water song. Start to learn it. Start to sing it. Start to share it. Because it's really important at this time that we connect to the water, we talk to the water, we bless the water, and we work with the water to change our frequency and the frequency of the world. Oh, hi, House. What's that? Oh, Mystic. Hi, Mystic. How are you? Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, if you missed the water blessing, it is on YouTube at SongBirdGrandMother. Thank you, Nicole. And so I'll be back on Monday. I'm gonna do we're gonna talk about money. We're gonna do the new moon blessing. It's gonna be a money blessing, a candle blessing. We're gonna talk about the new moon, the energy, what's to come. We're heading to springtime, so we're gonna get into that frequency. Oh, you're about to go to bed. Oh, good timing, because we're about to log off. But I want to thank everybody for joining me. If you want to watch the replay, it's on YouTube. And please, 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 if you can, give the water to the waterways. And hopefully I will see you on Monday. All right. All right. Until we meet again, many blessings. You're welcome, Taylor.